and primarily why we would do that. Now, when you're looking to filter your data, the most common reason is to focus your analysis. Think if you've wanted to look at some sales trends for a specific region, you want to narrow down your data set to just that region. Another reason to filter your results is to reduce the size. Even rather small data sets, when asking complex analytical questions, can really slow things down. A good way to speed things up, especially when you're still formulating your hypotheses, is to return a sample of the data rather than the entire population. The last common reason to filter your results is to limit them for an aggregate condition. For example, if you wanted to analyze the top quarterbacks of all time, you're going to use the QB rating system. This sounds straightforward, but what you'll often find is cases where a person only played one game in their career and they're at the top of this list. In this case, you may want to filter down to only players that have played X number of games or minutes. So you first aggregate, then filter. We'll take a look at all of these in our example in our demo. We're going to start here by looking at the basic way of filtering your data using the where clause. Then I'll show you how to filter some date values. Then we'll get into filtering multiple results. What if you want to, instead of just look at one product, look at a number of products? And lastly, we'll look at the like condition, a way to filter things that are similar to other things. So here in my database, I have all the examples we're going to walk through. And to keep things simple, I'm just going to go ahead and hide them first, and then we'll kind of go through them one by one. The basic way we start is by using the where clause. So we have a query just like we started with before, where we have fact internet sales, we're joining to the dim product table, and in this case, we're actually filtering where the English product name equals road 65 black 62. This is a specific product from our database. And if we run this query and take a look at the products that are returned, you can see that all of them match our condition. So this is the most basic way to filter data. Give a single condition that must equal true for the data to return. If I were to change this, for example, 62A, and try to rerun it, I get no results. That's because that condition is not true for any of our data. Now let's take a look when we're not just using an equal sign to filter. Here, what I'm doing is I'm going to filter on date instead of a product name. So here with the dates, I want to have a non-equal filter, a greater than or equal to or a less than or equal to condition. And I have multiple conditions. So same query as before, except now I only want orders where the date is greater than or equal to January 1st, 2013, or equal to or before December 31st of that same year. So let's run this query. And if I take a look at my order date key, you can see that they all start with January 1st of 2013. And if I were to find the very last row here, you'd find that it is for December 31st of that same year. So this is a simple way to use a non-equal condition and actually multiple conditions on a date value. Now, dates have a special characteristic in databases, as they do in many analytical tools. If you scroll down and you see the next condition, what I have here is that same query, but now I'm representing that filter by using a between condition. So with the between condition, it's essentially the exact same thing as above. I've just shortened my syntax. And this is a special condition that you can use with dates. If I run this query, you can see that the number of results, 52,801, is the exact same. This format of dates, year, month, day, is the standard database format that you'll see across all different database platforms. What if we wanted to, this time, not just look at one product, but multiple products? Well, we could have a lot of conditions there, or we also could use a new condition called in. This is a different way of telling SQL that I want to filter my result set based on the English product name in this example being equal to any one of my 4 results here. So this would be the same as if I wrote that equal condition multiple times, but here I'm just writing it in one kind of shorthand syntax using the in clause. If I were to highlight this and run this query and go over to take a look at my products, you'd see that I have lots of different results, the silver 40, the 42, and the 38. The last way to filter your data I'm going to show you is using a like condition. Now this is a very unique thing, and this varies depending on the database that you use, but almost every database supports this type of filtering condition. And here what I have is essentially the same idea where I want the English product name, but I want anything that starts with mountain and then ends with anything else. In SQL Server, we use a percent sign. In other databases, you use different wildcard conditions. But in here, the idea is that, let's say I have a query that returned all the different types of mountain bikes, but that list of types of mountain bikes may grow or change over time. However, they always will start with the word mountain. I can use this example using a like condition to always give me any results where the English product name starts with the word mountain and ends with anything else. If I were to run this here, and I go take a look at my products again, you can see that there's lots of different examples here, and they all start with the word mountain. Now let's take a look at aggregating data. So by aggregating data, we are using